What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the DigiTavern, and welcome to our 5th video of opening Pokemon card packs. And I've got to say, I'm pretty excited for this one because this is something that I've been talking about for the past 2 videos. I'm finally getting my chance to open up this beautiful Slyveon collection Eeveelution box set. It's just, I'm ready for it. And the thing about this box set is that I've got a buddy who gave this to me, who has been asking me what I got. I told him that there's some beautiful cards in this, and that's all I'm giving him. That's all I gave him. So it's time to open this bad boy up and get into these cards here. So, quick rundown of this box set. This box set came out during Gen 5, during Black and White packs and the Black and White game. So you'll see that I've got actually 4 Black and White booster packs in this box. And I'm just giving this box a once over here because it's not open, untouched, unsoiled. And I'm pretty excited to get into this thing. So we're gonna crack it open. Let's get that ASMR sound in there. There's always a rush, honestly, when you're opening a box set like this, or packs or anything like that. I've been having a conversation with a buddy at work, and that's half the fun for me, if not most of the fun for me. Being able to see the pack fresh, unopened. It's just it's fun to open up a pack because there's so many possibilities and a massive amount of potential of what you can get. And truth be told, it kind of hurt me to open this box because it's been sitting on my desk for such a long time now that I didn't want to see it leave my desk. But it was time to open it, and it was time to show you guys what's going on here. So a little bit of a struggle with this kind of box because I'm trying to be as gentle as possible. And I kind of tried to see if the card was able to slip out from the top, but it was actually slipped in the back. And being very careful to pop these out because I didn't want to bend any of these cards. I didn't want to bend any of these things. Didn't want to bend the cards. Didn't want to ruin any kind of pack because it's hard to find Black and White card packs right now. Like, it's really hard. Kind of too hard. But looking at the Slyveon and the Fairy Eeveelution or the Fairy Element Energy card, oh man, it's such a beautiful thing to look at. And the pinwheel of Eeveelutions, I gotta tell you, I'm a huge fan of Evee, and I love the Eeveelutions, and Vaporeon is my favorite. It's always been my favorite, and it always will be my favorite. But Slyveon has definitely caught up with it. And it does come with a little figurine, as I showed that off, so that was pretty cool. And to have 4 packs of Black and White was pretty special to me. So we're gonna kind of take a second here to kind of show everything off here, and we're gonna jump right into opening up the pinwheels because the pinwheel was kind of the most difficult thing to kind of open up. Because I didn't want to bend any of these cards, and it seemed like maybe whenever they put them in this thing, they probably had to bend them. And it was kind of a struggle because I was thinking about what I could do to potentially open this. So, getting back into it, one of the things that I wanted to do beforehand, I wanted to get some packs or some sleeves. And I went ahead and grabbed some sleeves off camera to slip these cards from their pre-packaging into their new packaging. And it's pretty much what I'm doing right now with the Slyveon, and it's pretty, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful card, beautiful art, and these are promo cards, mind you. So, but for me as a collector, I'm more than happy to have these in my collection. And to be completely clear, I don't have any Slyveons, any Glaceons, or Umbreon cards. Like, these are the first cards of those 3 that I'm getting, and Sylveon. I do have Eevees, Vaporeons, Jolteons, Flareons, Espeons. I have some of the first ones that came out, so I'm glad to have these to add to the collection. So let's get into this pinwheel here, and it was kind of difficult to figure out how the heck I was going to open this up. And I start tugging, and it's part of me was like, ugh, this is too much. But you can see, like, I'm trying the best, and this is something that I noticed, and maybe I don't catch on camera here. There are creases on these cards, and I'm not entirely sure where they're coming from or why they're there, but a few of the cards have a crease, and it's really, it's unappealing for sure. But the card seems to be in good condition. It's a beautiful card, but there's definitely a crease that I could tell. And as you saw earlier, I had to kind of bend the card to kind of prop it out of its little slot there. But immediately these guys are going right into sleeves. So same deal here, just pulling that out. And that Glaceon and Slyveon, man, like I get sometimes the argument is that Pokemon is getting a little lazy with their Pokemons, but this is just a beautiful card. These are just beautiful Eeveelutions, and Slyveon and Glaceon. Man, if they were around when I was a kid, I think those 2 would have been my all-time favorites. Once again, coming around with the Umbreon here, just being very careful and very mindful of the cards themselves. And unfortunately, as we kind of get into these cards a little bit more, some of them are not in the best condition, even out of box. And that kind of hurt me a little bit. But this Umbreon card looks beautiful. Umbreon looks so innocent and so free. It's just a good card. Espeon probably was my second favorite Eeveelution, to be completely honest with you. I know Espeon came out, I believe it was 2nd gen, and I have the 2 original of Vaporeon and Espeon holographic cards, and they are just beautiful. Again, there's this weird seam on some of these cards, and it was a bit of a drag. Getting Flareon out here. Flareon, this is such a beautiful card. Like, I love the look of it. The holographic is so simple, and these are proper holographic cards, promos, and they just have such a simple holographic art to them, and it's a beautiful card. The way they dance and shimmer, it's great. Here's everyone's favorite, Jolteon. Being very careful with this one. This one was kind of in a weird angle, so I had to flip it around to kind of prop it out just ever so slightly and to get it out. But I love the color on this one. The mustard green with the weird yellows, or I should say the mustard yellows with the weird greens. It just brought Jolteon out. And it's funny how Jolteon just kind of looks kind of like, what's going on here? Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a bend on this card, like a hard bend, where it was kind of pinned in the pinwheel. It definitely left a huge bend in that top corner, and I'm looking at other places where it might have been as well on the Vaporeon, because this is my favorite Eeveelution of all time. I love Vaporeon so much. And yes, unfortunately, it also has a really terrible bend in the left corner or the right corner. Something else I noticed is that in this right side of this card, it's a bit torn, and I just don't know how that happened. It's a little unfortunate, but the card's beautiful regardless, and for me, this is just my collection. These are never going to be sold. These are never going to be in anyone else's hands. These cards are for me, and I'm greatly appreciative of my buddy giving me these, and I'm glad to have this. Now this was a pretty different card here because Eevee looks to be surrounded by various amounts of eyes or colors, and I kind of, when I first saw this card, I assumed that they were an interpretation on stones, whether they were water, fire, moon, electric, or thunderstones, whatever they were. So I thought that was a pretty cool look for Eevee right there. All in all, these cards are beautiful. From Evee to Vaporeon, to Jolteon, Flareon, Espeon, Umbreon, Slyveon, Glaceon, and Sylveon. These cards are beautiful. I do catch the fact that Sylveon is in glare, so I'll move that here in a bit. Gonna move that Sylveon right on over because that glare helps no one. Beautiful cards, beautiful Pokemon, and some of my favorite of all time. So putting these away pretty quickly here, keeping them in their sleeves and keeping them safe and protected as we continue on with our video. So getting into these packs here, I've got 4 black and white booster packs from Gen 5, and I'm pretty excited to get into these because I didn't collect back then. I don't know what the cards look like. I didn't look them up, and this is my first time opening these packs or any packs like these, and I'm pretty excited to have a black and white legendary treasures, Dragon Exalted, and Next Destinies. I was pretty excited to get into these packs, and as you can see, we kind of moved that little figurine of Sylveon to the corner there to kind of give us some good luck on these pulls. So let's get into the first one here. We're going to do the Next Destinies black and white booster pack, and I'm pretty excited. Like, honestly, you can't tell when I'm doing this or when I'm opening these packs. I was pretty nervous. My hand was kind of shaking a bit because I don't know, something about opening card packs that are a little dated make for more excitement, and I think it was just I was excited, overly excited. So I kind of took a guess here, not too sure how many to put to the back. I originally pulled my 6, thought about it for a minute, even gave it the flip, and I was like, I don't know about those 6. I think I was a little nervous, but I went with it. So, starting off with a Cubchoo, which is a beautiful card, and I love that Pokemon. Shinx, I love this card. It's so cute, so beautiful, and just the contrast of colors is amazing. And Shinx is probably one of my more favorite electric types. I like my dog cat-like Pokemon. Getting a Riolu, which was pretty cool. I love this art where it's just kind of chilling on a bench. It's pretty cool. And a Kricketot before, which I love that no borderline outline artwork. Getting a Luxio, God, I love these evolution forms of these two. And a Kricketune, which was pretty cool. I thought to have 2 evolutionary forms of Pokemon in the same pack. A Nuzleaf, which is, it's such a weird Pokemon to me, but it's alright. A beautiful art of Arcanine. I'm doing the math in my head, making sure that I pulled the cards correctly. And a inverted foil Meowth card. And a Seedot, which was perfect for the collection that I'm going to build, I guess, with black and white evolutionary packs. So Seedot to Nuzleaf. That was pretty cool. And then the new fashion of the way I'm going to do things going a little forward, I'm going to keep the mat clean and start putting these new foil cards into sleeves immediately. It does take me a while to get to a point where I can organize how I want to have the cards. So I'm finding that putting them in sleeves for right now is just is the best thing for me. I've got a whole lunch container or lunch box of cards that I need to organize, and I've not gotten to that yet. The sleeves help with protecting them, so I'm gonna do that for right now. So getting into this next pack. Now this is Dragon Exalted. Flipping that pack around, doing the 6 pull back to the 6 to the pull, or 6 to the back pull, I should say. Starting off with a Dino. Now this was pretty cool because I've never seen a dragon type card, and I was wondering what the heck it was, and then I realized it was a dragon type, and I was like, that is awesome. A Fungus, which was pretty cool. I love that kind of fart-like art that's there. A Gibble. I was pretty excited to have a Gibble. I remember in Soul Silver, I hunted down a Gibble for weeks. A Stunky, dark type Pokemon there. A Larian, which was such a pretty art. Like, I love the turtles. I love the turtles in Pokemon. They do such a good job. A Celio, which is, I love how simple that art style is. It's so creative and so easy to look at. It's easy on the eyes. A Floatzel, and Floatzel is a weird one. This is one that really, you can see my hand is kind of shaking pretty hard there. An Ampharos. I thought this card was beautiful. A proper holographic Ampharos. Just so pretty. That card is just beautiful. I love the animation of the holographic as well. A inverted foil Jumpluff and a non-holographic Mincino. This was the first pull that started to get me really nervous, and you can kind of see it in my hands. But to get these two was pretty cool. Putting them directly into their sleeves. I take a second with this Ampharos one though, because this card is beautiful. And in the last video, I kind of talked about how electric type and fire type holographics look the best to me, and it's no different with this one. I was blown away by this one. So getting into one of the legendary treasure cards here, or packs, I should say. Popping this one open. You guys may not be able to see it, but there's definitely a huge shake in the hands right now. Just because I was excited. Getting the 6 card draw, putting them to the back, giving it a flip, and getting into the cards here. So a Tapig, which is such a cool art. I love this art concept for this starter. I thought that was really cool. A Tangela. A Gothita. I'm not entirely sure what Pokemon this is. I've never heard of this one. A Gothia? Some of these Pokemon I've never heard of. I'm not gonna lie. Getting another Dragon type and Dino, which was pretty cool. A Gabite. This was the one that I was like, oh man, if only this was a holographic. Like, I would have loved this that much more. But I love the art. I love the charging look to it. A Drudagon. This was also another one of those cards where I was like, this art is so beautiful. There's something about early Pokemon art that really gets me, and I know it's just pure nostalgia. This one blew my mind. This is some sort of foil inverted holographic Elisa card. And the thing is, you can kind of see it in this video, but right here in this angle, you can definitely see the shimmering in the stars that kind of are faded into the background. It's not into the art itself of Elisa, but it's in the card surrounding her. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful way of doing things. And this card, look at this card, look at my hand. It freaked me out because at this point my hands are just completely shaking at all times. This is such a beautiful card. This full holographic Cincino. I mean I lost myself with that one. And to get this beautiful Gyarados, oh man, that was awesome. And to get 3 holographic cards, and to get an inverted foil Crustle to finish up this pack, like that was pretty cool. That Gyarados was beautiful. The Elisa blew my mind because I've never seen a card like that, and I've never seen the Cincino card either that has that kind of holographic. Because not only is the card itself holographic, but it also has this print behind the holographic. It's such a complex card, but it was so beautiful. This inverted Crustle card was pretty cool to have though. I love the leaves in the background. But these two, being very careful with picking these cards up. There's just so much going on in each card. And you can see that I had to put my hand down on the table for the Cincino card. It's just such beauty. It's just 2 pretty cards, man. Like I just wanted to get them in their sleeves as fast as possible. I will say though, I did look up if these cards are worth anything. These cards are fairly common. A lot of people seem to have them, and they're not valued pretty high at all. I think for some people that probably would depreciate getting these kind of pulls, but because I've never gotten these cards before, I've never seen these cards before, I was more than happy to get them. So with the last pack on hand here, we prepare ourselves for the next pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think I was counting a little extra hard because of the pulls that I had gotten before. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I just went ahead with 6. I was thinking about it too long. You ever play Texas Hold'em with this expression? Study long, study wrong. A dark Pokemon in Zorua. I don't know what this Pokemon is. It looks like a cousin to Vulpix. Trubbish. The garbage Pokemon. Solasis, the ghost type Pokemon. A Gibble. This thing was awesome. I love seeing all the many Gibbles in one art. Like that was pretty cool to see that. They look like baby sharks. Baby sharks. A Gabite, another one to match off with the Gibble. That was awesome. To see those cards was very cool. A Shuckle, which is such a, again, like the cartoony art is also really cool because it's so simple. This one was pretty cool to get a Slyveon, and this card is the same as Elisa. The stars that are kind of embedded behind the card itself. Man, it was awesome. What was funny was I was really nervous that I wasn't going to capture those shimmering stars on video. So I'm glad to have seen those. This one here, Purloin. Not only is this an all holographic foil card, but give it the shake and you can see the little extra holographic that is behind the holographic. It's so beautiful. It's as pretty as you think as it looks on video, and those little secret hidden holographics in the background, oh man, that's awesome. A Toxicroak, which was pretty cool, and I'm pretty sure that we end up pulling a, nope, guess not. But this one here, this one is stupid beautiful. Another third one, another proper holographic, the shimmer, the shake, and the speed behind it of this Hydreigon. I didn't have any words. I just wanted to count my luck, because when I pulled these cards, I consider myself to be very lucky with how beautiful these cards are. And if you guys are learning anything from these videos from me, is rarities, specialties, and high-priced, valued cards, they don't really mean too much to me. I love having the cards that are beautiful. I love having the cards that have a lot of art and a lot of color, and I appreciate the card in its entirety. And now I know that some of these cards are not valued very high and are probably extremely common, but again, to me, these cards are beautiful, and I'm nothing but happy to add these cards to my collection. And if anything, I want to get more of them, and I feel like that's probably going to be an expensive hobby to find more black and white packs, but I'll give it some time and I'll look for them. And in total, we have a good amount of holographics to go through. That's Purloin, that's Slyveon, that's Elisa, Cincino, Crustle, Ampharos, Meowth, and all the Eeveelutions. So I'm pretty excited to get into these cards and show you a close-up, full frontal of all these cards. So let's clear the mat and let's get into that. So getting into some of the cards that we've pulled today, we're starting off with Ampharos. And Ampharos is a beautiful, beautiful card. And this Pokemon is also so unique in its own way, evolving from a sheep to this beautiful Ampharos. It's such a pretty card. I love the holographic, and I'm not gonna go on the tangent about electric types and holographics, but I will say the streaks going from side to side with Ampharos just really brings to life what is going on in this card and with this art, and I love the way it looks. This is such a beautiful card, and looking at this card here, this is a rare card. It's a proper holographic rare card, and I'm extremely happy to have it. It's so beautiful. And a quick note about Ampharos, apparently its tail the little orb at the end of its tail has the ability of being so bright that it can even be seen from space. So I thought that was pretty cool. Next on the list here is Hydreigon. And I gotta be honest, looking at this card for the 5th, 10th time, I didn't realize that there was some sort of art behind Hydreigon. Some sort of what looks to be boxes or some sort of industrial print behind it. And that is really, really cool. And this is a beautiful card. This is a proper holographic rare card. And I'm going to start getting into what is rare, common, uncommon, secret rare. We're going to get into that stuff here. And I'll explain that in another video going forward. But this is Hydreigon, and this is a beautiful card. One of the things that I love about this card is not only its holographic and the color scheme behind it. It's a very rainbow effect with the blues, the greens, the yellows, the reds, the purples. It really brings out Hydreigon. One of the other things that I love about this Pokemon is that Hydreigon reminds me of Quetzalcoatl or Kukulkan, which are Mesoamerican deities. And I say that because Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl are known as the plumed serpents, or winged dragons, if you will. And Hydreigon really embodies all of that, from the feathers or the plumed feathering around its neck to its snake-like head and its fangs. It is a beautiful card. It is a beautiful Pokemon, and I'm super glad to have this. Next on the list is a common Slyveon, and I don't quite know if this is a holographic or foil card, but I'm fairly certain that it is a foil card with the kind of shimmering and shake of these stars behind it. So in this image it's kind of hard to see, but there are definitely the little stars in the background that kind of shine and shimmer when the light catches it correctly. Now, the beautiful thing about this card is the art itself. Slyveon is just so pretty looking in this card right now. It just looks so well put together. It's such a good art, and I love the background of the leaves in the background, or the vines if you will. It really kind of brings out what Slyveon is all about, and I love this card. I love the collar around its neck and its big beautiful eye. It's such a cool looking card, and I'm glad to have this one as well. Next on the list is another one of these kind of subtle foil holographic cards with the stars in the background with the Eeveelution trainer card. Now this is a really pretty card. I love this card right now. I mean, I love this card. It's such a beautiful card, and I'm looking for more trainer cards as I'm starting my collection over again. I used to undervalue trainer cards, or at least the art of trainer cards, but now being a little older and now being able to appreciate more of the card itself, I want more trainer cards for this reason alone, because the art is just so well done. You can see that Elisa is not only performing or being herself, which is a model Pokemon gym trainer or gym leader, but she's also kind of showing off everything that she's about. And you can see that they've even built this runway behind her to kind of promote her as a model, but also following up with her strength as a gym leader. And that's pretty cool. And this is a common card, so this is a common holographic or foil Elisa trainer card. Pretty happy for that. Next on the list is an uncommon full art or full foil Purloin with all the art in this thing. This is beautiful. The biggest thing about this is that it's easy to kind of have your eyes take away from Purloin herself, but if you look at Purloin, like, she is beautiful nonetheless. She's very sassy, very whimsy looking, and it's easily lost in how beautiful this card is overall, with all these colors and just confetti dots everywhere. And then on top of that, when the light hits it just right, you get this weird kind of like extra behind the holographic print with these kind of stars and chandeliers in the background, really accentuating the fact that this is a dark Pokemon. And I love that. It's such a cool little treat there, and I'm definitely really happy to have this card in the collection, because when I pulled this, I was beyond happy. Next on the list is the card that made my hand shake tremendously. Is the Cinccino. And this is a beautiful card. It's just such a pretty card. It's a cute card. And this is an uncommon foil holographic card. And this is a really pretty one. From the ribbons to the pinstripes to the hearts, all the way to the top, where Cinccino is just kind of surrounded by treats and candies and Pokemon aesthetics. It's such a beautiful thing to see. And if you look kind of closely at this card here, you can kind of see that window on the outside seems to be some sort of winter like season, and it kind of makes for a snow-like effect on the outside. And it's a small detail, but this is what I mean by appreciating cards. Cards like this are, again, it's easy to kind of get lost in the colors and the shine, but to see that they obviously have set the tone in the background to be sort of a winter-like aesthetic, it's beautiful to see it all, to take it all in. And this is why I'm glad to be able to kind of give some of these cards that attention. Now we're going to get into the Eeveelutions, and we're going to start off, of course, with Evee. And this is a promo card, proper holographic. And looking at this card, again, just kind of really going back to what I was talking about with all the stones or the circles around Evee. One of the biggest things is that I heard once before is that Evee is a Pokemon of possibility. Evee can be whatever it chooses to be, and over time it can even adapt to its surroundings, which is how it has evolved into things like Glaceon and Vaporeon. And there's even a little bit of lore saying that if Eevee's with the trainer long enough, that Evee will start to look like the trainer, which is kind of funny and kind of terrifying when you think about it. But this is a beautiful card nonetheless. I love the holographic. I love the stones around it. It leads us into what this box is all about, which is Eeveelutions and all the beauty that is behind them. So with that, let's get into those Eeveelutions. First on the list here, we're going to start out with the first three that ever came out, and that is Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon. Now these three were awesome. In the original Pokemon, where the brothers are getting ready to evolve their Eevees into their preferred types, I fell in love with Vaporeon in that moment. My favorite color was blue as a kid. I love the water types. I still love water types. And Vaporeon just meant so much to me back then. And looking at this card now, I still love Vaporeon in every depiction of it. And in the game as well, Muddy Water, just because I'm looking at Muddy Water, is such a good move. But I love these setups of these cards, and I noticed that when I was putting these cards up together, getting ready to take pictures of them, I didn't do this on purpose, but I noticed that when I took this picture, Jolteon is kind of extending its arm out, kind of like, what are you looking at? And when I look at Vaporeon and Flareon, they're just looking at their brother or sister, and they're just kind of like, aw, poor Jolteon. Again with its shenanigans, and again with its craziness. Just because, and I say that because Jolteon is usually the least favorite of the starting three, but in this picture, in this setup, it's just kind of like, what? Jolteon's like, what do you want? You can't help but just kind of smile at the fact that they clearly did something there with Jolteon, and that was pretty funny. Next on the list here is Espeon and Umbreon, the next generations of Eeveelutions. These two cards are extremely pretty. When I look at Espeon, I look at the colors, I look at the background, the psychedelic print in the background, and just the overall kind of innocence, but kind of like, I'm not really interested in what's going on here. And that's definitely the vibe you get from Espeon. And looking over at Umbreon, this is a beautiful card. And this is the very first Umbreon card I've ever gotten. I didn't get the one that was released when I was a kid, mostly because I was a bigger Espeon fan. But to see Umbreon now, to have this card now, is really cool. And to see the little moons and the stars in the background really captures what Umbreon is all about. I love this. It's such a beautiful card. And these are promo cards, so you're going to find these typically only in these boxes or in this box set. But these are two beautiful, beautiful cards that I'm very happy to have. And I love the way they kind of look at each other, just kind of uninterested in each other, which is kind of funny. Next is the third generations of Eeveelutions, and that brings us Glaceon and Slyveon. I just met these two Pokemon maybe 2 years ago. I had no idea there was another set of Eeveelutions. And as I said earlier, if I saw Glaceon and Slyveon when I was a kid, I think these two would have been my favorite. I don't think I would care about Vaporeon as much as I do if I saw Glaceon, because Glaceon is so tough looking. It just looks so tough. It looks like nothing can phase it, and I love how it really emphasizes that this is an ice type Pokemon. And you can see in the background the kind of snow art in the background, the kind of avant-garde snow in the back. But you can see that the sharp edges of its ears and of its tail and of its kind of like, I guess it's like little loopies, which is pretty cool, that kind of hang from the side. It's such a pretty card, and I love the sass in this Glaceon because it knows it's tough, just like ice. And looking at Slyveon just embodies what it means to be a grass type in my mind, which is kind of like wild, free, innocent, and unfazed, because they have everything around them that they could ever need. And they're not necessarily looking to take anyone on or to kind of go after anyone, but they're just there, just to exist and to go about their business. And I love the look of Slyveon. I love the ears. I love how the color changes in the ears to kind of generate what looks to be sort of a leaf, even the little cuts and nicks in the ear. That's such a cool little add-on and to this overall character concept. I love that so much. And just the look is like, Glaceon's like, what are you gonna do, Slyveon? Come at me. And Slyveon's like, I don't got time. I'm good. I'm just gonna lay in my canopy and just enjoy life. And it's just night and day. It's awesome. I love it. It's just very pretty cards. Moving on to the final card of our Eeveelution set here, and that would be Slyveon. Now this card is the epitome of overkill when it comes to cuteness. Just cuteness overload. And it's a very beautiful, proper holographic card, and you can tell in this picture here that there is a little bit of a shimmer that's pink. There's a pink shimmer to this card here. So it's got a nice kind of rosé fuchsia tint on the holographic. And you can see that I kind of snuck in the figure in the background of this card. So Slyveon is just kind of trying to say hi, I guess. And it's just a beautiful card. Now the 3D art, I've gone back and forth with 3D art. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I really don't. But I feel like this one really captures the new generation of Pokemon, which we got to see these Pokemon in a more 3D way. So it kind of is embodied in that. But the biggest thing about Slyveon is Evee evolves into Slyveon through friendship and through love of its trainer. And you can see like how happy Slyveon is. And I think that really captures how much Slyveon has to really, really care, or how much Evee has to really, really care about its trainer and the bond they have to evolve into a Slyveon. And this is really cool. And if you've never seen the shiny version of Slyveon, it's just as beautiful. It's blue and it's so awesome. And that's it, guys. That's episode number 5. So tune in next week when we get ready to do another video, as I have a little bit of a surprise for you guys. I've got something new that I want to add to the video or to the screen overall. And we're going to get into some X and Y evolution packs. We're going old school. I'm really looking forward to opening those packs. I do have the new expansion packs that's coming from Japan on the way, so I'm ready for that. And we're going to get into another video eventually, hopefully pretty soon, where I will go into talking about rares, secret rares, commons, uncommons, holographics, foil cards, all that good stuff. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to do all that in the coming weeks. Also, don't forget to check out the podcast. We are available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, most podcast formats, and you can find us at thedigitavern.com and tune into our podcast every Tuesday and Thursday. Until then, guys, we'll see you back here in the Digitavern. Peace.